Congratulations. I realized that with all the yapping that I do, I never actually sat down and told you guys what the heck has been happening and why we're moving and all of that stuff. So I thought we could sit down and I would get ready for the day and I would tell you guys about what has been going on and what is going to happen next. Let's talk about it. I'm gonna start off with my skincare. I've already washed my face. I start out with the combo of my vitamin C serum, snail mucin. I've also never done a get ready with me or anything on my channel, so if it's a bit rough, just bear with me, please. For context, I was in the United States Air Force for 10 years and I was medically retired in January for a plethora of reasons, but the biggest ones being PTSD, anxiety, depression, then a bunch of physical ailments as well. I've talked about my chronic pain and everything that I suffer with on this channel a bunch, so I won't bore you with more of it. Snail mucin all-in-one cream, Naturium plant ceramide cream. Back in 2021, I retrained while I was still in the Air Force. I retrained to a different job, which led to me and Ryan being stationed at Cannon Air Force Base in Clovis, New Mexico. Let me set the scene of what, if you've never been to Clovis, New Mexico, congratulations, first of all, I'm happy for you. And also to give you the layout of what it looks like, it is the ugliest place that I have ever been in my life. It is also the stinkiest place I've ever been in my life. I don't know if you know much about Texas and New Mexico and the factory farming that happens around here, but it's awful. You just drive past hundreds of cows, all stuck in their own poo, standing on top of each other. That under the baking sun really creates a unique scent. Clovis itself, it's a very small town and they only have a Walmart and a few grocery stores, not even a Target. The closest specialty medical care is 2 hours away, which is important later on in the story. I'm already doing too much yapping and not enough getting ready, so it's 2021 and the orders come down that me and Ryan are going to be headed to Clovis, New Mexico. We pack up all of our stuff and we are telling ourselves lies about how it will be a new start and it will be great. But we were both really upset to leave our last duty station because we loved it so much and all of our friends were there and we didn't really know much about New Mexico at all. So we show up to this desolate wasteland of a place and it stinks. And the first house that we lived in when we got here was Gymenomosaurus. It was huge, old. The layout was the stupidest layout of any house I've ever been in. Just overall, Clovis just has a very heavy feeling. If you're into like vibes of a place or if you get like bad feelings, it just feels so heavy. And whenever we travel and we come back, I just feel like there's a weight on my shoulders. So we get here, within the first 2 weeks of us being in Clovis, everything starts to go wrong. Ryan tears his ACL playing basketball, and he also, while he was fully stopped at a stop sign, a uninsured driver crashed into his car, and that was a whole big drama to deal with too. Then his car was in the shop for 3-4 months. We were down to 1 car. I started my new job, which then had me working 14-hour days every day, even sometimes on the weekends. And so my body started to slowly fail me. I was throwing up every single day. I couldn't eat anything. I couldn't eat any meat. I already had kind of an issue with meat before we arrived, but the stress of being here in this place really just, everything went so quickly downhill. Now that's where the specialty medical care being 2 hours away comes in, because both me and Ryan now need to see specialists, which means that we are driving to Lubbock, which is 2 hours away, twice, 3 times a week, every single week, which is a lot of driving just to see a medical provider, which they also got wrong. Ryan's first medical specialist that TRICARE referred him to, they referred him to a hand and shoulder doctor for his ACL tear in his knee. So that was a whole day that we had wasted. So it takes about 4 or 5 months for them to finally get ready to do Ryan's surgery for his knee. He goes in for surgery. My leadership refuses to let me to take time off to take care of him. They actually told me to find a complete stranger from the squadron to come and take care of my husband that couldn't walk or use a bathroom by himself after his surgery. And they wouldn't let me telework at all to take care of him because I was too needed in the squadron. And at this time, I'm still having a lot of medical issues myself with my throwing up and my nausea. I had a bald spot in the middle of my head from stress, and just my body wasn't My body wasn't getting any nutrients. For reference, I am 5'11", almost 6 foot, and I weighed 140 pounds, which is tiny for my height. So it was just bad news all around. And so Ryan has his surgery and I try and finagle it as much as possible so that I can take care of him. But we're both just really, really struggling. That on top of all the awful stuff that I had to put up with at work, my toxic leadership and the cases that I was given. So I retrained into investigations, which is like a law enforcement agency for the Air Force. And so I was dealing with all the things that you don't want to deal with. After Ryan's surgery in about June of 2022, I was sent on a course to become a certified child forensic interviewer so that I could start doing child interviews and run child cases, which I thought I was interested in. That was on me. I should have known my own limits. I go on the TDY and everything that could possibly have gone wrong went wrong. My flights were cancelled, my baggage got lost. I arrived in only what I had on and my backpack. So I was wearing like this crop sweater and sweatpants and Converse, and I had to show up day one in that outfit. I let the people who were running it know, obviously, but everyone else who was there, all the other agents that were there, were like, why the heck is she in sweatpants? Everyone was in like business casual attire. It was one of the most embarrassing moments of my life. I go to the first day, and then on the second day I wake up and I can't stop throwing up. I'm throwing up absolutely nothing because I already couldn't keep my food down the day before. I try and take my medicine, my Zofran, and I'm throwing that up too. I can't keep anything down. So I message the course coordinator and I say, hey, look, I can't keep my meds down right now. I'm gonna try my absolute best to try and make it to class today. And she's completely understanding and she says, yep, got it, just let me know if you need anything. If I don't go to class that day, I cannot graduate. I won't be accredited to go on and be a child forensic interviewer. I managed to keep my meds down about like an hour or two late into class. I go to class, she pulls me aside at one of the breaks and she asks me if I'm okay, and I just start bawling my eyes out because no, I'm not okay. Like my body is shutting down. I'm so stressed and overwhelmed and I'm so unhappy, and I just start crying saying it's just a lot. And she asked me if I'm okay to continue the course and I say yes, because I don't know how to say no. I then get a call later that night from my leadership asking me what the heck happened. I explained that I was sick, I couldn't keep my medicine down. Keep in mind, they know that I have been sick. I've had to take days off for medical appointments. Like, they know that I'm sick and they seem to be understanding over the phone. They say, okay, me and boss want to talk to you when you get back. Fair enough, sounds good. I assumed it was more like a are you okay type conversation. So I end the course, I get accredited, and I fly back to Clovis. The next day I go into work, they sit me down. I'm just not even getting ready at all right now. I suck at these. This was the breaking point for me and this job, this particular conversation, because I realized that they don't care about me. They don't care about me at all, and they never have and they never will. I'm literally just a body in a seat. So we sit down for the conversation. They ask me what the heck happened and I tell them exactly what I just told you guys. They begin to reprimand me and tell me that my inability to complete the course, keep in mind I did complete the course, will lead to other agents not getting the opportunities that they deserve within the unit. I have tainted how people feel about the detachment that I was in. My superintendent then proceeds to tell me that I should have gone to class and thrown up in a paper bag. And I wish I was being dramatic when I tell you guys that. And I didn't know how to feel about that when he first said that to me, because who says that to another human being ever? When someone's this sick, the only correct response is empathy, but that was not what I received from my leadership. That really took a toll on my mental health because I already felt like a burden. I already felt like a burden to the rest of my detachment and my fellow co-workers because I just couldn't hold my own because I was sick. If this looks terrible, don't talk about it. Post that conversation, my mental health just takes a huge decline. I'm blaming myself for everything. I feel awful all the time. And I start to really imagine ways to end the pain that I'm in. And it got to the point where my husband looked at me and said, are you planning ways to hurt yourself? And I said yes. And he said, okay, if you don't tell your therapist, I'm checking you into a hospital myself. And so I said, okay, I'll tell my therapist tomorrow. And so I did. And that ended up with me going on a little grippy sock vacation in Colorado, which then led to me being medically retired from the Air Force eventually. This whole process took a lot longer than what I'm telling you, but Clovis has become like a really unsafe space for me, for my mental health. Everything is a reminder. I do not feel safe here. It is not a nice place to live. I feel very stressed and anxious. I'm scared to leave the house here. So the last year has been spent with Ryan coming up with different ways for us to leave Clovis, because the Air Force is the way that it is. It's extremely difficult to be moved or PCS'd when you haven't been on station for 4 years, which we have not. We've been here for 2.5 now. So he's been coming up with all these different ways of leaving. This last effort has been to join the Coast Guard. He went on a course back in January and he met a Coast Guard officer. They were telling him about how great the Coast Guard is. Ryan was like, why not? Let's give it a shot. And he got picked up. That leads us to, why are we moving in with my parents with nowhere to live and don't know where we're going? Ryan is separating from the Air Force the end of this month, so we have to move out of the housing and completely leave, but we don't have orders yet for the Coast Guard. Ryan will be jobless for a month. We are going to move in with my parents and stay in Colorado with them until the orders come through. And that is basically the whole story. I'm excited for this new chapter. I'm excited to see where we go, what happens. It's difficult to, with all this stress, with like moving within a month and all this kind of stuff that's been going on, it's difficult to remember that this is what we want. We want to leave. We don't want to be here. This place is actively draining my mental health. I feel like a whole different person here, like a very small version of myself. I'm making such a mess of this. There's a lot of other drama that happened along with it. It was 2.5 years of drama, really. That's the short version. I'm gonna go do my hair real quick and then I'll be back to show you the finished look. Okay, here's the look. So anyway, now that I'm done yapping, what we're gonna do for the rest of the video is pack up all the rest of our stuff, move the heck out of here. I'm gonna bring you guys along with me as always. So yeah, let's do it. Okay, the first stop is the already pretty empty guest room. So I've got my Gilmore Girls up on my laptop that I'm gonna listen to. Yeah, I'm just gonna do some packing. Hey guys, it's day 2 of packing. I have reached the mental point where I'm like, what if we just threw everything away? Like, what if we just got rid of everything that we own and just start again, you know, be a minimalist? It's finally cleaning day. It's so echoey in here now because there's no furniture. So it's listening to the sound of my own voice. Ooh. We actually took all of the dogs and the cats to our friend Evan's last night. He's very graciously letting us stay in his house for a few days so that we can just get all of our stuff out of here and get it cleaned. But his AC unit is broken. And so when we got there, it was like 85.5 degrees in the house, which was disgusting. So today we went and got one of those like AC towers and it cost about $200, but girl math, it's actually free because we're staying at his house for free. And if we stayed at a hotel, that would be at least $600 for 3 nights. So we actually saved $400 by buying an AC unit. So I did in fact not finish cleaning yesterday. All I need to do is vacuum and mop and clean the bathrooms, so it's not too bad. Oh god, I'm so over it. Usually I just pay someone to come and clean the house, but there wasn't anyone available on such short notice. Finally time to defeat the final boss, mopping. My trusty vacuum gave up on me at the last second. I literally was vacuuming like the last bit of carpet in the house. It just died. It just gave up. RIP. RIP to my bestie. Our final housing inspection yesterday went about as well as to be expected. They charged us $1,300 and told me that the house wasn't clean enough. After I just spent 2 days cleaning it. We picked my dad up from the airport last night, and then this morning we're gonna just pack up the car, pack up the cars, pack up all our stuff, and head to Colorado. Bye Clovis, you were the worst 2.5 years of my life. Hey Stinkies, we made it to my parents' house last night. It was a little bit chaotic, just like moving all of our stuff in. And yes, I know I've been wearing this horse bandana for the past however many days. I don't care. You can pry it out of my cold dead hands. But today we are going to check out our storage unit, make sure everything's okay, and then tomorrow we're moving everything into storage. It's nice to be here, but it definitely hasn't, I haven't processed it at all that we are in Colorado now and we're staying here and we're not going back to Clovis. So hopefully after a few days I can fully get my head around that fact. But thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you again soon with another video. Bye!